Bentornati in live ragazzi. Allora, che abbiamo da fare questa sera? Allora, tra 15 minuti esatti ci sarà il reveal dell'anno 8 del nuovo anno di Rainbow, quindi tutte robe nuove da scoprire, eccetera, eccetera. Dato che mancano ancora circa 15 minuti, forse un po' meno, avevo intenzione di farvi vedere la cinematica in CGI che è uscita ieri. Così poi andiamo a vedere direttamente il reveal sul canale ufficiale di Ubisoft. Io sono pronto, ho la cochina fresca che avevo spoilerato prima. Ho una pizza qua sotto. Letteralmente non sto scherzando. Pizza. Quindi, godiamoci sta serata e vediamo cosa faranno uscire. Allora, cambio scena subito. Dovrebbe andare? No, non va. Modifichiamo Chrome. Tranquilli, adesso vi metto tutto l'audio, eccetera, eccetera. Allora, questa qua è la cinematica che è uscita l'altro giorno. Mi muto e ve la faccio vedere, raga.
Nighthaven really fucked up letting their gear fall into the wrong hands.
That's why we have to extract it.
Let's finish this.
Ash. Run!
That's gotta be tough to watch. Wholesale Nighthaven weaponry is a scary thing. It's also the perfect bait. Call me sentimental, but I'm a little disappointed they fell for it. You know, Rainbow used to be feared in my time. A covert unit of apex killers, and you turned it into the fucking ice capades. You disgraced my unit, Harry.
It's their unit now. And the disgrace is yours, Damus.
What comes next is the squad's fall. One by one. Every operator dies. I guess I wanted to thank you for making it so easy for us.
My job was never to lead Rainbow, but rather to help them lead themselves. Now, if you don't mind, I happen to find you exceedingly fucking boring.
swinging.
Beh, che dire, raga, brutta storia. Io, se fossi in Ubisoft, farei uscire un bel titolo di Rainbow Six nuovo, PvE, con una bella campagna che si concentra all'uccidere questo diudo, e non solo in realtà. Sarebbe molto bello. Allora, torniamo un attimo in cam. Bene, allora mancano 9 minuti al come si chiama? Al reveal ufficiale. Quindi vi preparo la scena. Ecco qua, già si sente. E dovrebbe funzionare adesso. Vediamo. Ok, perfetto, va. Schermo intero. Piccola prova audio. Prova. Piccola prova audio. Funziona. Bene raga, devo riprovare per vedere come si sente, quindi un attimino. Prova. Devo riprovare per vedere come si sente, quindi. Ok, sì, va bene, abbastanza bilanciato. Beh, è il tempo da aspettare, c'è scritto qui sotto. Aspettiamo. Io continuo la consumazione della mia pizza. Se no signor Fred diventa una cagà. Un attimo che forse si vede un po' male da voi, però giusto subito. Ok. Sì, infatti forse è un po' troppo tagliata, ecco. Oh, ok, ora va meglio. Perfetto. Pizza time. Ma c'è stato un taglio di tempo? Ma che sono 3 minuti, mo. 2 secondi faranno 6. Ma che cazzo, vabbè. Perché c'era il suono del drone di Lion in sottofondo, ma che cazzo. Devo sapere se qualcuno ha notato sta cosa. Forza magica. Ok. C'è veramente una specie di remix con il suono del drone di Lion in sottofondo comunque. Non è che manca poco, raga. Minuti e mezzo. rimasto un pomodorino incassato dai denti. La mano. Figa sta musichetta comunque. Chissà cos'è sto posto comunque. Uffici Ubisoft? Non lo capisco. Forse dove arrivi. Dove sono i major di quest'anno? Non lo so. Londra. Dai che manca poco, raga. 30 secondi. Che figo, raga, ma è un remix di Boy Edge questo qua. Bellissimo. Bello sto dettaglio. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You need to make sure that all of you watching at home one day come to an SI because this crowd is nuts. Hey, you're awesome. Now you know what time it is. Does anybody want to know what the next season of Siege is going to look like?
Sono qui per questo, però.
Because Ubisoft told me that I'm only allowed to show you if you get loud enough. So I'm going to ask you again, does anybody want to know what it's going to look like?
Prova. Prova.
Year 8, Season 1. This is how it all
Ok, va.
looking like because it is Operation Commanding
Perfetto.
Force. The time is now. The crowd want it. You want it watching at home. It's time now.
Yuhu!
The crowd want it. You want it watching at home. It's time now. Yuhu!
Ok, perfetto, è bilanciato, raga. Basta prove. Su. Altro minuto, ma basta, dai, su, voglio vedere. Ok. Oh, operatrice nuova. Come diceva chat. Jesus. Eccola. Bentornata sul mio schermo, signorina.
And there is no better way to kick off the first season of Year 8 of Rainbow Six Siege than to be here with all of you.
Ah sì?
Whether you're here watching the best teams in the world compete in the 6th Invitational, or at home excited to learn what's next, this is the place to be. In Operation Commanding Force, all eyes are on Viper Strike, the squad led by Hibana, who will be welcoming a new operator this season. To tell us more, please welcome Creative Director Alexander Karpazis.
Year 8 season Commanding Force starts off with us seeing Brava, our saboteur from
Brava.
Brazil. She'll be joining Viper Strike, led by Hibana, and is made up of the experts who have every tool at their disposal to get the job done. essentially the elite Swiss Army knives who can jump into any operation and execute at the highest possible level. This squad
Posso dare? No, 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 no.
being joined
Ok.
by Red Hammer,
Sto
which was
laggando.
introduced earlier, being led by Thermite. This is the squad of force and destruction, and with Viper Strike and Red Hammer joining the fold, we've introduced all of our squads that are making up Rainbow Six today.
Bene.
On top of this, we have a lot of exciting stuff to share. We've got balancing changes that reinforce the tacticality of our game and the gameplay that you can expect. We are constantly reinforcing the game with anti-cheat, and you'll see even more player protection coming
Finalmente sta
down the
cosa
line.
di
Newcomer rewards
mouse e tastiera su console è veramente
for the first time.
inconcepibile.
Experience the vocabulary of the game,
Finalmente c'è
get
un
rewarded
malus
for it,
per chi
and veterans
ximma.
of the game as well will have rewards. All of this and more, our team's been
Voglio sta
working
maglietta.
very hard, and they're excited to share with you everything that they've been working on today.
The Viper Strike faction is stepping onto the stage with Brava, a new
Cazzo di telefono era?
attacker who pilots the Kludge drone, a dastardly device capable of hacking Defender electronics and either destroying them from a distance or changing their allegiance entirely. Imagine a Defender triggering a Kapkan trap or getting slowed by Malusi's Banshee device. Imagine an attacker causing chaos with an on-site Maestro turret in a post-plant situation. This is the
Figo.
world that Brava is bringing to you, and it's coming soon.
Mozzi ma meglio praticamente, raga.
Defenders will
Che la cosa
need
di
to be on the
Capcom
lookout
troppo
this
epica.
season as Brava and her gadget seek to give them a taste of their own medicine. We're gonna
I'm
dive
ready.
into the design of Brava with concept artist Sunshine Kim, then get the details of what makes Brava's drone unique from director of gameplay design Jeremy Carvon and game designer Matthew Lacombe.
Ok.
Brava is a natural-born leader and an expert in advanced technologies. She really values her
La giacca di
family,
Caveira.
hometown, and her heritage. You can see that she always wears the capybara patch, which represents her hometown, around her strap, as if it's part of her.
Prendere sta roba del capibara un po' borderline, soprattutto ora che è diventato un po' più meme del solito.
But she's not an intimidating and strict leader
Buona
unlike
recluta.
her cousin Capital. They're alike, but they're different in many ways. We wanted her
Cugina di Capital?
outgoing and lively personality to be really reflected in her visual design. But instead of approaching usual traditional way with heavy gear setup and multiple layers, we simplified it. Having that minimalistic gear setup, but still looking professional and combat ready was the main challenge.
Quel guanto, quello su stile di Aruni.
Brava's device, we were looking for technology that could disrupt electronics in a distance. So we dig into the fantasy of anti-drone rifles. These rifles are powerful weapons that can break the connection and the control of drones. We really like the feeling and the look of this, so we wanted to make our own version of it. Once we were happy with our version, we scaled it down, mounted it on a turret, and we put this turret on top of these four-wheel drones to create this little tank. When you are controlling the drone, you will see this dedicated interface with a ton of little elements that will be used as important feedbacks. We even put the cannon on the side to really give the feeling that you are inside the machine. And finally, we've designed this new overlay that will show
Il modello 3D di questo dronino mi ricorda molto un drone visto in un video di Spunky Wee Wee, che è letteralmente un drone con un taser di sopra, che si può trovare sul marketplace di Gmod, quello là.
Overeating Defender gadgets. It's a drone, so similar to what we have with Twitch. You can move around, drive with it, and you can also shoot. When you shoot at a electronic device, you can steal them from the Defender team. Our experienced players will be able to do a lot of crazy things with this. You can steal a Kapkan trap, you can steal a
Figa, sta cosa del Capcom
all of
comunque.
those Defender gadgets that you can turn against them. So obviously there's a lot of possibilities, and it's sky is the limit here.
La cosa che se lei prende un Kapkan e un difensore muore per il Kapkan, dovrebbe dare la kill a lei, non a Kapkan nella loro squadra. Questa cosa ho notato, spero che verrà cambiata nei test server, insomma.
we have the assault rifle. It's high damage, low rate of fire, but you know how it works. We have the
quello di Buck però, il fallo di Buck senza sottocamera.
For the secondary weapons, we have the Super Shorty and the USB-40. You know the deal here. We have a secondary shotgun for utility. We can create some rotation holes.
Team Super Shorty, ragazzi, tutta la vita.
Defenses with this. Or you have the USB-40, which is a reliable pistol. If you want to move fast, you want to catch up to your team, that's the one you want to use. For generic gadgets, we have the claymores and the smoke grenades. The claymore, obviously, you're going to spend a lot of time hunting down defender utilities, but we want to make sure that you're safe. So you will be able to use the claymore for this one, or we have the smoke grenade. The smoke grenade is the one that creates a lot of noise.
Rompo la finestra e finisce la festa, ragazzi.
Cioè. Clutch drone and maybe steal something? Like, that's a window of opportunity for you. We have a 3-speed and 1 armor attacker here. It's mostly so you use the speed to catch up to your team. You're going to spend a lot of time on your clutch drones, and we want to make sure that you're always relevant during the round, so we gave you the best speed that we have. The first synergy that we can see is IQ. You have this ability to track all of the electronic devices, and turns out that Bravo can hunt and steal those. So you want IQ to scout ahead and Bravo to execute on them. And one of the things that we really like is tag teams. And here we are proposing Bravo and IQ.
E quel mute come funzionerà? Se io catturo un mute con questo lo disattivo al massimo. Ma vediamo.
Can allow the clutch drone to move forward if there's a pest or a mute jammer in the doorway. And don't worry, if you disable a gadget and you try to convert it, it will still work. Some of our maps have these
ok, ma se lo converto che fa? Cioè, disturba le cam dei difensori. Come funziona?
You can send the clutch drone to shoot those gadgets and remove them, but there's also creative ways of doing it. You can steal a maestro, use the maestro to deny those devices. That's the kind of thing.
Ho un po' di dubbi. Se io prendo il possesso di una batteria di bandits, come funzionerà? Forse lo disattiva.
And you can spot the clutch drone coming in to steal your gadgets. Mozzie is an interesting counter here. We have a two-way relationship. You can steal the pest and do all of the crazy things that you can think of, but the pest can also steal the clutch drone, and then from there you can steal claymores, steal air jabs, retake some drones. There's a lot of possibility here, so it's really a counter and counter synergy.
Ammazza, attenti a Mozzie, raga.
It navigates on the floor.
Diventerò main Mozzie appena uscirà sto operatore.
Place jammers, you passively deny the entry to the bomb site. You just have to be careful and place them in ways that she can't shoot them. The clutch drone can steal the jammer, and then it's going to disable defender gadgets.
E infatti.
Vigil's gadgets allows them to be cloaked to drones, so obviously the clutch drone will not be able to see Vigil, which means that he can jump on your drone and destroy it. I think our experienced players will be able to make Bravo shine the most when they repick into this operator. When you notice that there's Capcan, Miluzi, Aruni, Maestro, all of those defenders that brings high-valued gadgets, well, you want to steal them. That's when experienced player will make Bravo shine.
Ma quella roba che dovevano aggiungere di utilizzare i gadget anche da morto? Chissà se ne parleranno oggi.
Our next updates are focused on the team's ongoing efforts to ensure that Rainbow Six Siege is fair and balanced for all players. The use of mouse and keyboard on console is a disruptive problem. And this season, we're putting a new solution in place to tackle this issue. Gameplay programming team lead Jan Stelaka is here to share the details.
Sentiamo. Mousetrap. O trappola per topi.
Siege, we have a problem where a lot of players are using these little widgets called input spoofing devices. And they allow you to play with a keyboard and mouse on console. Now, along with toxicity and cheating, this is one of the biggest complaints that we get from our community. And we heard you, we agree.
Ciao Pacchi, non lo so perché non ti sia arrivato. Come al solito c'è qualche problema.
So this is a problem that all console shooters have, especially the competitive ones. And there hasn't really been a reliable solution for this yet.
Sono triste.
In fact, the devices they're using are specifically designed.
La notifica a volte non parte, non so perché.
We wanted to build our own system that would sniff out mouse and keyboard players on console so that we could build a better picture of exactly who's using these devices. And we called that system Mousetrap. We have been really quiet about it. but actually
Ha
it's been
senso
running
come gioco
in the background
di
in
parole in
shadow
inglese.
for several
Trappola per
seasons.
topi, letteralmente mouse.
We've been gathering data and analyzing
Perché
the
ti fanno vi
results,
faccio vedere il
and
mio
now we
fra
have
non lo
a
so.
much better picture.
I have no
We
idea,
know
mai.
exactly which players are spoofing, when they were spoofing. We also know that at the highest ranks, spoofers become much more common, where they have the biggest
bastardi.
advantage and the most to gain. It would have been really easy for us just to ban all those players, but we want to try something a little different.
Ok.
So what we're going to do is we're going to try and remove the advantage that they get from using one of these input spoofing devices. Starting in Season 8, Year 1.2, when we
quindi a
detect
metà
key spoofing,
season.
we're going to start adding extra latency to your inputs. It's going to start out really unnoticeable, but it's going to ramp up over several matches, and it will definitely be noticed.
Madonna quanto sto godendo in questo momento.
Their disadvantage against mouse and keyboard players will be much reduced. To remove the penalty, simply unplug your spoofing adapter and continue playing on controller. After a few matches, the latency will be reduced and you'll be back to normal. We've worked really closely with
Che figata sta cosa, minchia meno male quanto godo.
to make sure that we take the needs of disabled players into account. We have designed the feature so that disabled players who use adaptive technology to access the game should not be affected by this penalty. However, if you're a disabled player and you feel like you've been unfairly penalized, there will be a QR code in the game that you can use to contact us. We will then investigate, and maybe we can use your feedback to improve our system. So additionally, we will be updating our code of conduct for all players to say that using external devices to gain an advantage is not permitted. I want to mention that this is an experimental solution.
Godo.
Nobody
Andate via dal
uses
cazzo,
solve this
giocatori da
problem
mouse e
yet.
console,
We
da
are trying
console.
something new, but it's not the
Fanculo.
final iteration.
Mouse e
We
tastiera da
intend to
console,
keep
vabbè, volevo
monitoring the
dire.
data, to update our detection system, and to continue to tune the penalties. It's an evolving situation. We are committed to continuing to work on it to improve the fairness of Siege. Mousetrap will be coming Year 8, Season 1.2.
Perfetto, buono. Godo un sacco.
In the same vein, Operation Commanding Force is continuing to bolster our anti-toxicity measures. To tell us more, here's Player Protection and Game Security Director Emmanuel Larive.
No, non è vero, dai. Anti-toxicity, vediamo.
I'm very glad to announce that we will perform a new update toward the reputation penalty. This new update will be looking at everybody that is doing some disruption at the voice chat level. It is really important because we're seeing case of misconduct, hateful message. We want to reduce that.
Sì, si aumentano tipo.
This new system will be muted
No al
by
body
these
shaming,
clauses.
Pacchi, mi raccomando.
So the people that still want to hear them will be able to unmute them. The goal of this new initiative is to reduce the impact of the top offender on other players. We also want to reduce the case of misconduct and hateful message that you are facing. At the start, we will be only looking at the top offender, so a small population of players. They will be receiving a set of warnings, and when a penalty will be applied, it will last several matches. Later down the road, of course, we'll continue to monitor the system, but also to expand it to everybody.
Non so se torno su Minecraft, ora vediamo.
In Siege, every decision counts. Starting this season,
ora vediamo,
reloading will be more tactical than ever. Associate Game Director Joshua Mills reveals details about the reload rework, and Game Designer Robert Cole has some news about a balancing update for Zero.
The issue with the current reload system in Siege is that it doesn't reflect the reality that most players are perceiving, which is if someone's reloading, they are non-lethal, and I have opportunity to push that fight. In the live build of Siege right now, if you initiate a reload action, you can cancel it at any time. What that means is the magazine has been removed from the weapon.
Questa cosa l'apprezzo molto in realtà, però vabbè la toglieranno.
You cancel that animation, and the magazine pops back in the weapon, and as long as it had ammunition,
Vabbè, mandamelo su Instagram e dopo lo vedo allora. Vediamo che fanno qua.
Get the benefits of reload canceling. And what I mean by that is once the magazine has cleared the weapon, it will not magically pop back in the weapon if you cancel that animation. In fact, it'll drop and then you'll have no magazine in your weapon. But if you had a little bit of ammunition left in your magazine, you'll still have one in the chamber. And at the end of the day, it only takes one.
Ah, ok.
The objective
Ah,
here is
beh,
consistency
ha
with the
senso, sì.
tactics and strategy of Siege,
È un po' più
which means if you perform an action in Siege,
realistico.
it has consequences.
No, non posso
and
farlo
it's
vedere
punished.
Paki perché è una
When a
roba di
player
calcio e poi
initiates a reload
hanno
action,
DMCA
you
e
commit
minchiate
to it.
varie.
The objectives here are to enhance our teamwork, so if I have to reload, my friend's going to cover me, and to make use of the loadout that players already have, which is to use their secondary weapon if needed. Ultimately, it realigns our players' expectations with the game reality. So players, when they know somebody's reloading, expect that they have an opportunity and an advantage in that situation. Right now, the game doesn't actually support that. This is one of those updates that is actually affecting our core mechanics of the game. It's an important thing to be very careful when we make those changes, but we know this is the direction we want to go in to bring Siege to be more tactical, more purposeful, and more strategic than ever before.
Zero is not in
Cali
a
da
bad spot
dietro.
right now,
Ciao, Cali.
but it's true that his gadget can be a tricky one to use, as it's getting destroyed most of the times before being even used, mainly due to the sound it makes. We are changing the Argus camera so that it will no longer auto-deploy to the other
È
side of
spagnolo
the wall
questo,
once
Argus
being
camera.
attached.
Senti
Zero
come
will
parla.
now need to manually perform the preparation from
Che
inside.
cazzo è successo al pavimento di chalet?
Any teammates can swap either side of
Ma
the
che è sto
camera
pavimento
and perform the
legnoso?
preparation. With these changes, we want the Argus camera to be a much more powerful
Ah, ok,
team
ok.
as well as being much more collaborative and improve the options and survivability of the gadget. We believe that these changes will make the gadget much more interesting and bring a new layer of strategy to Zero.
In Year 7, we did a big update to our attachments and to our recoil system. The goal here was to enhance the player choice, give you more options to play the way you want to, and make the loadouts you want to use.
Okay.
Looking into the compensator and the muzzle brake is the same philosophy. We're just bringing those in line with some of the changes we started in Year 7. For the muzzle brake, we're going from 45% up to 50%. For the compensator, we're making an adjustment from 15% to 35%. One great feature that was introduced in Year 7 is the shooting range, and I highly recommend you go into there and test all this stuff out to find the perfect kit for yourself. As always, with any balancing change or any update we do, we will be listening and monitoring the community feedback and continuing to find ways to empower you, the player, to live out the fantasy of being that elite operator.
Va bene. Questa la potevo evitare, però lasciamo stare. Va bene, ha senso.
Is in full force. And senior UX designer Cecilia Pasquale is here to give you a
Cecilia Pasquale. Hai Twitch bagaglio? Cioè? Che bellina. Ma perché c'è Rainbow Six Magic là dietro accanto a Kali? Ho visto un Tachanka rosa e un drone che si avvicinava. Che è sta cosa?
And it's going to be right below the tile, and it's going to allow our players to directly access their last played
Bellino sto cambiamento, ci sta.
category. For those playlists, for example as Quick Match, that have different game modes to select to matchmake with, we're going to add a settings button right below the tile that allows our players to select the game modes directly from there instead of having to go through the global settings button. For the future, we aim to further improve the menu navigation, but also we can't wait to hear your feedback about our latest improvements. This feature is directed to our PC players, and it's an access point in the homepage of the game that notifies when a test server is available. Upon clicking on the button, the game session will be closed and the test server will be automatically started.
Madonna, finalmente, che cazzo di cosa comoda, porca puttana. Ah, installare la cosa e trovare l'icona. Va, finalmente.
The main goal of this feature
ora cosa segui è la cosa di scoprire in mezzo alla chat. Vabbè, fra a volte sì, Twitch per mobile si bugga, a me succede anche peggio. E ora ti traduco tutto in breve, tranquillo.
We hope that more players will be interested in downloading and test our new features.
Vabbè, cambia il menu praticamente qua e basta.
Battle Pass to give you more control and flexibility over the new gear you unlock.
Robe col Battle Pass.
We're introducing a new spin on Bravo Packs aimed to give you even more choice when it comes to earning cosmetics. Business Strategy Director Mohammed Benhanada will break down
Come che si chiama? Perché I don't speak English, sì, tranquillo, tranquillo. Un altro aggiornamento del Battle Pass e probabilmente nuovi pacchetti.
So
vediamo.
last year we introduced the Bravo Packs. This feature was actually really liked by our community.
Sì.
What we want to do this year is actually give you even more choice as to which reward you unlock from the Bravo Packs.
Cazzo è quella cosa?
So for the players that finish the harder tiers of the Battle Pass, we're giving you what we call the Bravo Pack tickets. This will actually give you the opportunity to browse all of the rewards from the Bravo Packs and choose the one that you want to unlock. We launched the new Battle Pass last season.
Che figata. Allora, danno dei ticket con cui ti puoi sbloccare le robe che vuoi tu, che c'è all'interno dei Bravo Packs. Cazzo che bello. Finalmente.
The best moments in Siege are when a plan comes together. But for this to happen,
Vabbè, fra. Oggi Twitch è un po'. Probabilmente perché ci sono un sacco di persone che guardano queste live. Guarda qua, questa qua è 96.000 persone. Quindi può darsi che ci si serve un po' bloccati. Cioè?
Associate Game Director Christopher Budgeon is here to explain it all.
Ok. Blocca il Blitz.
Siege is a highly tactical game with a lot of different
Quanto è felice questa persona. La felpa di mute la voglio pure io, fra.
We want to support new players on their Siege journey by adding the tools that allows them to learn how to play Siege and how to perform at their best in PvP. In Operation Commanding Force, we're introducing the Beginner Challenges. Beginner Challenges are a new progression tool which allows new players to progress and learn about the different facets of Siege. They can do this by every match that they play. They're actually progressing these new challenges, which are created into groups that we like to call operator specialties. Operator specialties are a great way for our current players to teach their friends how to play Siege. For example,
sta facendo la super cazzo sul menu per gli allenamenti.
Every time a newcomer plays a match, they'll be progressing their beginner challenges. They'll be able to see which operator specialty they've been progressing, and as they do so, they'll unlock different rewards such as renown, boosters, or newcomer packs.
Peccato che non lo posso fare perché sono a livello 300, quindi peccato.
So for example, if you're playing as a breach operator and doing well, you're progressing those challenges and you'll unlock another breach operator.
Free Fire, fra, ma come mai mi chiedi questa cosa?
Towards a specific operator, all while learning what that operator does within the game. All operators within Siege will now have an operator specialty assigned to them. You'll be able to refer to that when playing with other players, such as we already have a breacher, or can somebody bring an intel operator.
Perché c'ho voglia. Ma chi ti ha detto che io ci abbia voglia?
Now they'll be able to use the language of Siege to make the choices about which operator to play.
Non lo so, dopo vediamo. Un po' mi secca onestamente.
For new players, it will replace the Battle Pass tile on the home menu. Our current players will be able to find it in the play menu. By giving new players a progression tool that's been specifically designed for them, we're able to reward players with items they can use immediately. This is the first time we're unlocking the ability to play to unlock a specific operator within Siege. Players will be informed how they're playing and be able to identify the type of role that they perform best within.
Quindi con sta roba sbloccano gli operatori base, ok, va bene. I tizi che non sanno giocare a Rainbow e ci giocano facendo questi tipo di tutorial e robe così, li sbloccano. Oh, ok. Ok, c'è altro? Ok. Ok, e finca. Settimana prossima ci sarà il test server, il 7 marzo uscirà la nuova fottutissima season. Ok, ma aspettavo un po' di più onestamente, Ma aspettavo un po' di più. Però vabbè. Dai, fa niente. Allora, possiamo tornare alla schermata normale. Allora, leggiamo la chat subito. Fai più spect con Minecraft che con Rainbow Warzone. Vabbè, ma io Rainbow lo porto tipo, cioè non lo porto quasi mai più praticamente. Lo voglio riportare però. Diciamo che ultimamente ho fatto più live con Minecraft che con il resto. Minchia, ma che cazzo? Ok. Warzone, io non gioco a Warzone. Io gioco al massimo a DMZ a COD 2, cioè Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. Però Warzone non lo faccio. Se facessi Warzone Battle Royale farei un po' più di spect, però non me ne frega un cazzo di Warzone Battle Royale, né del primo né del secondo. Allora, che si fa? Minecraft non lo so, un po' mi secca onestamente. Anche se in realtà, a dirla proprio tutta, mi secca proprio un po' giocare. Voglio vedere un po' che fare mo'. A te basta dei soldi nel portafoglio, certo, fra. Non lo so, insomma, ora vediamo. Anche Rainbow poi mi si dia, devo vedere un po' che fare mo'. Vabbè, non lo so. Free Fire pure mi secca, perché te lo dico proprio esplicitamente. Non ti sto guardando. Sto facendo così da 2 ore. Ok. Per il resto niente. Che mi racconti questa sera, Pacchi? Perché io ho detto tutto durante Minecraft. Basta live. E mo vediamo. Un cazzo. Ah, ok. Va bene, allora, se non c'è nient'altro da vedere sul canale Rainbow, vediamo una... No, ok, stanno facendo i playoff. Vabbè, allora ragazzi, io vi saluto, ci vediamo domani o stanotte con una live inutile. E niente, ci vediamo alla prossima. Ciao ciao.